There comes a time in life when silence becomes more powerful than speech. For many people between the ages of 55 and 75, this period marks not only a transition in physical health and lifestyle, but also a deeper evolution in emotional and psychological insight. With decades of experience behind us, we begin to understand a profound truth: not everything needs to be voiced. In fact, what we choose to keep private can become a cornerstone of personal peace, self-respect, and emotional independence. In a society increasingly driven by exposure, where oversharing is common and vulnerability is sometimes mistaken for strength, those in their later years are often caught in a quiet conflict. Should we disclose everything we feel, think, or endure? Or is there greater dignity in maintaining boundaries and keeping certain aspects of our lives to ourselves? This article explores 9 essential areas where discretion can serve as a tool for preserving dignity, autonomy, and inner peace. Each section is grounded in both psychological insight and real-world consequences, offering practical reasons why older adults should protect certain information. These aren't rules of secrecy, they're principles of self-preservation designed to help you live more intentionally and powerfully in the years ahead. Let's begin with the first area where silence can be strength. 1. Your age. Reclaiming the right to be ageless. Age is often the first thing others want to know, and for many, the last thing they should. Disclosing your exact age might seem like a casual exchange or an innocent fact, but the moment that number is revealed, it can change the dynamic of how others perceive and treat you. In today's world where youth is frequently idealized, older adults are often subjected to unconscious age bias. From assumptions about your physical abilities to subtle shifts in tone and treatment, simply stating your age can open the door to stereotyping. Studies in gerontology confirm that age disclosure can lead to misjudgments about a person's capabilities, often leading others to speak more slowly, patronize, or diminish expectations of your engagement in physical or intellectual activity. But age is not the defining feature of a person. Your life is not a number, it's a collection of insights, emotions, and contributions. By withholding your age, you free yourself from the assumptions and labels that often follow it. You allow others to interact with you based on how you present, think, and behave, not on how many birthdays you've had. Keeping your age private doesn't imply shame. It represents a refusal to be reduced. It's a declaration that you will be seen for your essence, not your era. 2. Your financial situation. The power in financial discretion. Money is personal. Whether you've worked your whole life to build wealth or you've endured financial instability, your bank account should not be a public subject. Discussing finances openly, even among family and close friends, can lead to complicated dynamics rooted in expectation, judgment, or envy. Wealth often invites pressure. Relatives may assume you have resources to share or begin relying on your generosity. On the other end, if your financial reality is modest or uncertain, people might treat you with pity, unsolicited advice, or even quiet disdain. Both outcomes rob you of autonomy. Financial privacy ensures you are not boxed into roles you never agreed to play. You are not an open wallet, nor are you a charity case. By keeping your financial matters to yourself, you maintain control over your boundaries. It allows your decisions whether to give, withhold, spend, or save to be guided by your values, not by others' expectations. Let your financial history be a silent achievement. There is more power in quiet abundance than in loud disclosure. 3. Family conflicts, keeping private. What is still healing? Every family has its challenges. Unspoken grudges, old wounds. Distant siblings, unresolved tensions. They are more common than we admit, but choosing to air those struggles outside the family circle can cause harm that outlasts the conflict itself. When you speak openly about your family problems, you invite others into dynamics they do not fully understand. Outsiders lacking context and nuance may offer opinions, spread gossip, or judge harshly. Worse, if your words find their way back to family members, reconciliation becomes more difficult and trust erodes. Keeping family disputes private doesn't mean denying them. It means handling them with discretion and care. Conflict resolution should take place between those directly involved or with professional guidance, not through casual conversations with outsiders. Airing family issues publicly often delays healing. Silence in this case isn't avoidance. It's protection of your relationships, of your family's dignity, and of the sacred potential for forgiveness. 4. Health conditions and medications. Don't let a diagnosis define you. Health becomes a growing focus in our 50s, 60s, and beyond. With regular appointments, prescriptions, and tests, it's tempting to share the details with others as a form of connection or explanation. But being too open about your health can inadvertently reshape how others see you and how you see yourself. When you regularly talk about your medical conditions or medications, others may begin to associate your identity with your ailments. They may start seeing you as the one with diabetes, the one recovering from surgery, or the one who takes all those pills. These labels, though often unspoken, carry real weight. Moreover, sharing health information often invites unhelpful responses, home remedies, anecdotal horror stories, or endless advice about what you should be doing differently. Instead of support, you may receive stress. Your health is yours. Share it selectively and with those who genuinely care and understand context. You are not defined by your diagnosis, but by your spirit. Protect that truth by guarding your health journey with respect and caution. 5. Your intimate life, preserving the sacred. There are few aspects of human life more personal than intimacy, and yet we live in a culture that often sees sexuality after 60 as a taboo, a joke, or an impossibility. That perception leads many older adults either to overshare in defiance or hide their needs entirely. Your intimate relationships are your own. Whether you are in a long-term partnership, dating again after years, or choosing solitude, your choices are not up for judgment. Sharing details about your romantic or physical life may provoke reactions that are awkward at best and disrespectful at worst. By keeping your intimate life private, you're not hiding, you're protecting. You're protecting the depth of your emotional connection, the vulnerability of your experiences, and the specialness of what intimacy becomes with age, an act of trust, comfort, and emotional closeness. There is dignity in discretion. Let your closeness with others remain a space of peace, not performance. 6. Your acts of charity, giving without announcement. One of the most admirable traits many people develop with age is a desire to give back. Whether through financial contributions, time spent volunteering, or quietly supporting someone in need. Generosity is a powerful reflection of character, but as meaningful as charitable acts or broadcasting them can often dilute their impact and your intent. There is a growing social trend of making philanthropy public, but when charity becomes performance, its essence shifts. Disclosing how much you give, who you help, or how frequently you support others can sometimes invite admiration, but it can also breed comparison, obligation, or skepticism. The most genuine generosity is quiet, intentional, and without expectation. When you give in private, you shift the focus away from yourself and toward the actual impact. You also protect the dignity of the person or organization receiving help. Many beneficiaries prefer anonymity and discretion. Announcing their need or your support may make them uncomfortable or even ashamed. Charity should be a personal reflection of your values, not a public strategy for praise. The most beautiful giving leaves no trace except in the life of the person it touches. 7. Your past triumphs. Let your present speak louder. There's pride in a life well lived in the milestones you've reached, the struggles you've overcome, and the legacy you've built. But the impulse to continually speak about your past accomplishments can sometimes become a trap, especially in your later years. When older adults frequently recount their achievements, it's often a search for continued relevance or validation. Yet, ironically speaking, too often of what once was can cause others to tune out rather than tune in. The message unintentionally becomes one of what I used to be rather than who I am now. Let your experience shape your presence, not your resume. Your wisdom, calm, and perspective already reflect your journey. The way you live today, how you listen, how you guide, how you interact, should carry the weight of your past successes. That's what true legacy looks like. Silence does not erase your accomplishments. It elevates them. It shows that you don't need to prove yourself. You already have. 8. Old grudges and insults. Release the weight. Over the decades, it's natural to accumulate wounds, slights from colleagues, betrayals by friends, or even family letdowns. But there is a difference between acknowledging pain and carrying it. Speaking often about old hurts keeps them alive, sometimes more than the events themselves ever did. Revisiting past insults may feel cathartic, but it rarely leads to peace. Instead, it anchors your present in negativity and paints your outlook with bitterness. People begin to associate you with grievance rather than grace. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing peace over poison. Your energy in these years of reflection and wisdom is too valuable to be spent reliving pain. Choose to remember the strength it took to endure, not the wound itself. Your silence becomes not suppression, but liberation. 9. Your personal beliefs or mantras. Protecting inner strength. Each person, especially by later life, cultivates a personal philosophy. Whether rooted in religion, spirituality, or simply a deeply held life principle, these internal beliefs often serve as anchors in times of uncertainty. However, sharing those beliefs too widely, especially in a world increasingly divided over ideology, can expose them to ridicule, misinterpretation, or debate. Not everyone will understand the depth of your inner compass. Some may try to challenge it. Others may dismiss it entirely. But your beliefs don't require validation to be powerful. What guides you through each day, the mantra you whisper during hard moments, the principle you live by in silence is sacred. It has served you well, perhaps even saved you. That strength deserves protection. By holding these inner truths close, you preserve their purity. You allow them to continue guiding you without interference. Your silence becomes a quiet reverence for the very source of your resilience. Silence is a strength, not a void. In a world that constantly demands disclosure, social media updates, casual oversharing, open book living, those who choose to remain private often seem out of step. But for people between the ages of 55 and 75, silence isn't a withdrawal, it's a mastery. Knowing what to keep private is not about distrust or secrecy. It's about protection of your energy, your dignity, and your hard-earned peace. It's about refusing to let others define your story with incomplete information or shallow assumptions. These 9 areas, your age, financial situation, family matters, health, intimacy, generosity, accomplishments, past hurts, and inner beliefs, are not forbidden topics. They are sacred spaces, and sacred things require boundaries. There is great dignity in knowing that your life, your memories, your truths do not need to be broadcast to be valuable. In fact, the less you reveal, the more freedom you maintain to evolve, adapt, and live authentically on your own terms. In your silence, you reclaim ownership of your narrative. You preserve your autonomy, and you build a life that is rich not in noise, but in meaning. If this article resonates with you and you believe in living with wisdom, dignity, and intention, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, Longevity Secret, where we explore the science and soul of growing older with strength and grace. Thank you for reading,